Hey there, YouTube friends. Hope you're all doing great. I am excited. It's springtime. It's March. And we are marching into casseroles. Springtime is a super busy time of year for most of us. We're trying to get out in our gardens. I'm a farmer. We're going to start planting. I have a grandbaby due soon. And it's just a great time to spend outside. And you don't want to spend a lot of time in the kitchen. So I'm going to show you today how to make a quick and fast casserole for your supper. I'd like to say thank you so much to Greg's Kitchen for putting on this Marching Into Casseroles collaboration for the year 2023. This is his third year running, and I'm so excited that he decided to include me. So let's go get busy and put together a fun and delicious casserole. I've already got the oven preheated to 350 degrees. And next, I want to get some rice cooking. I'm using a long grain jasmine rice. I'm going to be doubling this batch because I have company coming tonight. So I will put in the description below the accurate recipe. Because of course, you know me, the Inquisitive Farmwife, I like to tweak my recipes. I never can seem to follow one. So I'm going to start out with a cup of rice because I need 2 cups of cooked rice. I'm going to add 2 cups of water, and I'm going to put it in this cooker I got years ago, and it's just a rice cooker for the microwave. So I'm going to go ahead and pop that in and get that started while we put the rest of this together. Grab yourself a bowl. I've got on my apron, and I didn't have time to thaw out meat today. Usually you would use probably ground beef, but I have some stew meat that I have canned up, so we're going to go ahead and use it. Love when you hear that pop of a seal. I want to go ahead and use this today. I needed about 2 pounds of meat, so this will be about perfect. I'm going to go ahead and throw in the broth and everything because I don't have all fresh ingredients, and I'll be using some of my freeze-dried and dehydrated ingredients, so I need that extra moisture. It calls for 1 small white onion. Well, that's what I don't have. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a handful here of my dehydrated onions, and I'm just going to kind of crunch them up and put those in there. And then I also have some onion in my tomatoes. I couldn't find my freeze-dried onions. I do really enjoy cooking with those. We like onions, so maybe I'll get just a little bit more. The thing I have in my tomatoes is some bell peppers, but that's another thing we really enjoy. Here's my dehydrated, and here's my freeze-dried. So I'm just going to kind of put these in a little bit smaller pieces. What I want to do is kind of stir this up and make sure that these things can start rehydrating. Let that start soaking in. Isn't that cool? It's just celery that I sliced. I went ahead and put them in nice big chunks. And they're the same exact size as what they were when I froze them and put them in the machine. Need a half a cup, but remember, we're doubling because I'm feeding a crowd tonight. And you can count on the measurements being accurate because the size really doesn't change much when you do fruits and vegetables in your freeze dryer. However, when you do dehydrating, you notice my onions, they really shrunk way down. I think I'll add the tomatoes next. It calls for like the mini petite tomatoes. But what I have is kind of a mock rotel that I had made. So, or a stewed tomato. And I'm just gonna add that in. It's got quite a bit of moisture so that I can get all this stuff to start hydrating. The dehydrated onions will take longest. I'll let that soak for a minute. I also want to add some cream of something soup. So what that means is you can use any of your favorite cream of whatever soups. Cream of celery, cream of chicken, cream of potato. Today I'm using cream of mushroom. You can actually make your own cream of mushroom soups. There are recipes. I think I tried it one time for Thanksgiving one year. You can make it and use it in your recipes, or I believe you can also freeze it, and you might possibly be able to put it in the fridge for a certain amount of time too. But today we're just going to use this commercial stuff that I got on a really good deal after the holidays. And this is a perfect time to get to use it. Something about a casserole and cream of whatever soups just kind of pulls it together. Oh boy, there's the microwave. Let's check on that rice. It's not quite ready yet. Got a few more minutes. We'll just keep working on this casserole base here while that rice finishes cooking. What I'm doing is just kind of breaking up that cream of whatever soup and a little bit closer so you can kind of see what's going on. The celery is really starting to absorb up those liquids, and I'm just mixing in this cream of mushroom soup. And let's go ahead and season this a bit. I didn't have any fresh garlic, so I'm going to just add some powdered. Maybe about a tablespoon or so. But once again, I'll have the real recipe down below. Some pepper. And some Worcestershire sauce. Does anyone really know how to say it properly? That was probably about 2 tablespoons worth. We also need some tomato paste. I kind of like this stuff in the tube for when you only need a couple tablespoons, rather than having to get a whole entire jar out. Whoops! It's kind of going everywhere. I think I'm actually probably going to finish this tube off this time. This will help kind of thicken it up, and it really gives it that delicious tomato flavor. Kind of looking crazy, but I know it's going to taste really good. My meat was also cold, and yours will probably be fresh cooked and it'll be warm, so it might look a little bit different. Sounds like the rice is done. Ooh, yes. Perfect. Nice and fluffy. Go ahead and add that rice right on in there. If you have brown rice, regular white rice, it doesn't matter. I just happen to have this rice on hand and thought I would go ahead and give it a try. Just gonna kind of mix it in real quick. This is really coming together fast, friends. Because it's a double recipe, I'm going to go ahead and put it in one of my larger pans. You want to spray it just a bit so it doesn't stick. And we're going to go ahead and put it in here. Look at all those beautiful colors. The greens and yellows and reds and white. Spread this out as even as I can here to cover this and bake it for 15 minutes at a 350-degree oven. into the oven we go. The next thing we need is some cheese. Ooh, let's do some marbled cheddar. That sounds good. No, this really isn't a cheese grater, but I find that it works really well. It's from Pampered Chef, and it is a cauliflower ricer. And it works really well for cheese too. This is some of my homemade cheese. Ooh, yum, yum, yum. And what I will do is I'm going to just cut a nice sized chunk off this. And we'll grate this up. And I will get my vacuum sealer out. And I can take this and I can reseal it and put it back in the fridge, and it'll stay much longer. And it can continue to age and get sharper. But look at that. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? I love it. What I like about this grater is that you can go back and forth and get a slice off of it each time. But watch your fingers. Don't let that plastic fool you. It's sharp too. If you have it, fresh grated cheese always tastes better than the stuff in the bag. They have to add stuff to it to keep it from sticking together, so there's anti-caking agents in there. And although I use the shredded cheese from the store myself, if I don't have to, I don't. Ooh, look at that. I might have cut a bigger slice than necessary, but can you ever really have too much cheese? Is that really a thing? Yep, still good. Okay, I have pulled this out of the oven. You can see it's starting to cook a little around the edges, and now it's time to go ahead and put on this homemade cheese. Because what's a casserole without lots of cheese? I'm gonna get every last drop of this. And now I'm gonna put this back in the oven, uncovered, for about, this is a bigger pan, so I may have to go about 20 minutes. Well guys, somehow I missed it, getting it out of the oven. Had filmed the whole thing, but let me show you. Look at this cheesy deliciousness. I'm so excited. We're just gonna take a little bite out of the corner. I don't think anyone will notice. Get a little bit of everything. I've got rice, I've got meat, I've got cheese, some onion and pepper and tomato. Ooh, that's hot. But it is so tasty. Let me know if you try it. And make sure you go visit all the other channels in the collaboration and tell them the Inquisitive Farmwife sent you, and maybe you'll make some new friends. And thanks again, Greg, for inviting me to be part of this collaboration. Bye now. Have a good one.